Hello, my YouTube family. It's Coach Erica Janelle. I know I just posted the oath video, but I wanted to come before you guys. It was something that I wanted to kind of get off of my chest that's been on my mind, I would say probably for the last couple of days as I've been just working on content for my podcast and for my YouTube channel and just for everything that I'm dealing with in my everyday life as well. And I wanted to talk about the importance of being true to yourself when it comes to what it is that you truly desire in relationships and in life. I feel like sometimes we often get caught up in compromising our true desires because we really want something so bad that we are willing to settle and have less than what we deserve and less than what we even want. And it's very important to never push your desires and your needs to the back burner for others. And I say that because it's something that I have done so much in my life. And I would say within the last few years, I've really become more conscious of putting me first and putting my desires first and my needs first and not pushing myself to the back burner to make everybody else happy, to give everybody else what they need. And then I'm the one left feeling depleted, left feeling rejected, left feeling like I'm not being true to who I am. And it's so easy to do when you have a personality of being a giver and you want to love everybody, you want to be, peaceful, you want to cause peace in everybody's life, but you can't push yourself and your needs and your desires to the back burner all the time in hopes of making everybody else's life better. And I'm saying that as something that I am still working through, but I'm now more conscious of, probably more than ever in relationships and what it is that I want in my relationship and what it is that I want out of life for myself in the relationship realm, in the financial realm, in the business realm, just what it is that I want for my life and the path that I want. And I'm talking about relationships because that's generally what I'm always talking about. But one of the things that when I go back and I think about even my past marriages, even my past relationships, I tolerated way more than I ever should have tolerated because I always wanted to keep the peace. I always gave people a chance to be human. I'm very good at understanding that none of us are perfect and we all have our things that we're working on. We all are a work in progress and we all are growing. But the fact of the matter is, when people show you who they are, you need to believe them. And if you've made it clear what your expectations and what your desires and what your needs were, and that person is well aware of what those things are, and they still refuse to do those things, that shows you that you are not valuable to them. Whether you want to admit it or not, that is not a value to them. Whatever is important to you is not their value. It's not important to them. And that's not okay to compromise that in a relationship. When you're in a relationship with a person or you're pursuing a relationship with a person, it's supposed to be an even exchange. You're supposed to be pouring into each other and being willing to adapt and compromise when needed, but also being willing to take that person's needs and desires and expectations seriously to the point where if it's something that you're doing that is not giving that person what they need, then they've communicated it to you and they're still not doing it, it should let you know that it's not of value to them. It's not of importance to them. Because in my relationships and with my partners and with my family and even with my business and anything that I'm involved in, when it's something that's important to me, if this person communicates, rather, if that is something that's important to them, it doesn't matter whether or not it's a need that I have, but because I love this person and it's a need that they have, I make it my business to supply that need for that person, or try my best to always be mindful of what it is that they need from me. So say for instance, you're dealing with a person that needs a lot of affirmation. You may not yourself need affirmation from people, but you may be with somebody that needs that reassurance, that needs those words of affirmation to let them know how you feel about them and how you care for them. If it's not your need, it doesn't matter. If it's their need and you know it's their need and they've communicated that this is something that they need and desire from you, and you're not willing to do it, then that lets that person know that that's not important to you, which is not acceptable. And I'm just giving that as an example, but it's something that a lot of people deal with in relationships. So be true to yourself. And if you've made it clear that communication is a big deal to you, that being honest, being open, being forthcoming is a big deal to you, if you made it honest that, open and honest communication, that you need time, or you need consideration, or you need the person to be more open, or whatever it is, whatever that you're dealing with in your relationship, and that person is continuing to not even try to work on those things, then it's time for you to really go back to the drawing board and say, okay, am I compromising for something that is never going to make me happy? Or am I just giving this person a chance to be human? And you've got to balance it out, and you've got to be honest with yourself, because we're all going to make mistakes, and none of us are going to get it right every time. But you better believe, if my partner tells me he needs something from me, it's a need. If you need something from me and I'm not willing to do it, I'm not important to you. And so take the blinders off, take the fear away of being alone, of whatever it is that keeps you in that position of tolerating and staying in situations that are not beneficial for you. Be willing to walk away. And sometimes walking away may just mean that it's temporary, but sometimes walking away is permanent. But be willing to walk away until you're getting what it is that you need. You can't push what you need to the back all the time, because you will end up sad, you will end up lonely, you will end up empty, and you will end up unfulfilled. And honestly, I can be unfulfilled by myself. I don't need to have a person in my life to be unfulfilled. So it's just a little something that I've been thinking about, something that I'm actually working on a podcast for. And we're going to go into a lot deeper discussion about it, because, my podcast is a lot more unfiltered than my YouTube channel. So, but it's something to think about, and something to really, really put at the forefront of your thinking. Don't compromise what you need for the sake of just saying you're in a relationship with somebody. I'd rather be alone than be unhappy at the end of the day. And I'm not the kind of person that feels like I need a relationship anyway. It's a great asset. It's a great benefit. I love, I live for it. I know I'm supposed to be married. I know I'm supposed to have it. But at the end of the day, if the correct person is not in my sights, then it is what it is. I love me enough to make me happy. I take me out, I treat me good, I give myself self-love, I do things for myself. So I'm not waiting on a person to fulfill that in me. I fulfill myself with the things that I desire. And I think it's important for you to keep that in mind and get to that level of wholeness within yourself as well. I love you guys. That's just a little quick nugget that I wanted to share with you guys as I'm on my way to pick up my kids from school. But I love you guys. Have an amazing week, and I'll be seeing you soon. And new podcast is coming this weekend. Love you guys. Bye.